I never thought family could gut you worse than a knife. But there I was, fork midway to my mouth, when Mom's voice sliced through the Bing Crosby crooning on the stereo. Camila, honey, we've decided it's time you moved out. Permanently. The house is going up for sale after the holidays. Dad nodded like it was just another stocking stuffer, his eyes on the gravy boat instead of me. And then my brother, Ethan, the golden boy who'd always played second fiddle to nobody, smirked and added, "Yeah, sis, time to adult up. We've got plans for this place that don't include your deadweight dreams." It hit like a freight train derailed by eggnog. Betrayal so raw it tasted metallic on my tongue. I'd slaved through med school loans, covered their mortgage payments when Dad's business investments tanked, even lied to the cops about that hit and run 5 years ago. Ethan's doing, not mine, but blood's thicker than justice, right? Wrong. Turns out, blood's just a convenient lie they peddle until the inheritance check's clear. That Christmas Eve in our cookie-cutter McMansion outside Chicago, with the wind howling like a bad omen off Lake Michigan, I didn't cry or scream. I smiled, sharp, serpentine, and excused myself to the bathroom, where the real feast began, a vow scrawled in lipstick on the mirror. Revenge isn't served cold. It's engineered, atom by atom, until their world swaps with hell. And mine. It started with a whisper from the dark web, a neurotech hack that no Silicon Valley wet dream could touch. Body swap. Not sci-fi bullshit. Real, black market neural remapping, courtesy of a rogue ex-DARPA engineer who'd lost his kid to a system that chewed up the little guys. For 50 grand I didn't have, but desperation's the great equalizer. By New Year's, I'd be in control. Their control. Starting with Ethan. The snow crunched under my boots as I slipped out the back door that night, the fairy lights mocking me from the eaves like judgmental fireflies. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Lena, my ride or die from the ER shifts we'd pulled together during residency. WTF happened? Your face on FaceTime looked like you swallowed a grenade. I typed back one word, everything. But I couldn't spill it yet. Not until I had the leverage. The air bit at my cheeks, sharp as the truth I'd swallowed with the mashed potatoes. Mom and Dad weren't broke. They were flipping the house for a quick million to fund Ethan's latest venture, some crypto scam he'd roped in venture capitalists from Silicon Alley. And me? The family scapegoat, the one who'd taken the fall for his teenage joyride that left a pedestrian in a wheelchair. It was an accident, Cammy, he'd sobbed back then, all puppy dog eyes and snot. I'd perjured myself on the stand, said I was driving, got probation and a suspended license. For him. For family. Family. What a crock. I trudged to Lena's beat-up Prius idling at the curb, steam puffing from the exhaust like dragon breath. She was behind the wheel, red hair frizzing in the humidity, nursing a thermos of spiked cocoa. "Spill," she demanded as I buckled in, the seatbelt clicking like a loaded chamber. I did. Every bitter drop. The announcement over the cranberry sauce. Ethan's gloat about upgrading to a penthouse in the Loop. Mom's fake tears about giving you space to grow. Lena's grip tightened on the wheel, knuckles whitening. Those assholes. After you bailed Ethan out? And the house. You co-signed the refi last year. Yeah, I muttered, staring at the dashboard glow. With my inheritance advance. The one Grandpa left me before he croaked from that heart attack that smelled fishy even then. Grandpa's will had been the first crack in the facade, Dad's signature on the codicil, witnessed by Ethan's college buddy. Forged? Maybe. But proving it meant dredging up the old man's suspicions about the boy taking after his uncle, some black sheep relative who'd vanished after embezzling from the family hardware chain. Lena peeled out, heading for her apartment in Wicker Park, the city lights smearing like wet watercolors. So what's the play? Lawyer up? Embezzlement suit. I laughed, a hollow bark. Laws are for people with clean hands and deep pockets. Ethan's got both, courtesy of Mom and Dad's Rolodex. No, I need something visceral. Something that swaps their smugness for terror. She shot me a sideways glance, the kind that said you're scaring me a little. Like what? Voodoo doll. Worse. I pulled up the encrypted app on my phone, the one I'd found in a burner Reddit thread 6 months ago, back when the debt collectors started circling. Neural Sync. Underground clinic in an old meatpacking warehouse off Fulton. They do body swaps, consciousness transfers. For the right price. Lena nearly swerved into a snowbank. Jesus, Cammy. That's not revenge. That's the prestige on steroids. Illegal as hell. What if it fries your brain? Then I'll haunt them from the ether. But I wasn't bluffing about the risk. The testimonials were anonymous. A Wall Street exec who'd jumped into his rival's skin to tank a merger from the inside. A scorned wife who'd worn her husband's body to blow the whistle on his affairs. Success rate? 50-50, if the dark web whispers held water. But failure meant vegetative limbo, and honestly, better that than another holiday with those vipers. We pulled up to her walk-up, the brownstone facade etched with ice like veins. Inside, over lukewarm pizza and her cat's judgmental stare, I laid it out. The plan: target Ethan first. He was the architect, the one who'd whispered in their ears about culling the dead weight. Swap into him for a week. Long enough to sabotage his pitch to the VCs, leak his shady dealings, maybe even confess to that hit and run on a hot mic. Then swap back, watch the empire crumble. Mom and Dad, they'd fold like cheap suits once the money dried up. You're playing God, Lena said, but her eyes sparkled with that reckless glint we'd shared during all-nighters cramming for boards. She was in, logistics, alibi, the works. By dawn, I'd wired the deposit from a crypto wallet I'd mined on stolen hospital Wi-Fi. The confirmation pinged, session booked, neutralizer vials en route. Remember, consent is key. Non-consensual swaps void warranty. Consent. Yeah, right. Ethan's smug face flashed in my mind, and I crushed the empty beer can in my fist. The days blurred into a fever dream of prep. I called in sick to the clinic. Family emergency. Ironic as hell. And holed up in Lena's spare room. Poring over Ethan's LinkedIn, his Instagram flexes from rooftop bars, his emails I'd fished with a dummy job offer. He was deep in. Ponzi scheme disguised as NFT real estate flips, promising blockchain-backed McMansions to gullible tech brothers. The VCs? Heavy hitters from Sand Hill Road, slumming it in Chi-Town for the holidays. Pitch was set for January 3rd, post-New Year's haze. The vials arrived via drone drop, discreet black case, chilled like fine wine. Inside, 2 syringes of shimmering blue serum, labeled Initiator and Anchor. Instructions: spike the target's drink with Initiator during a moment of vulnerability. Administer Anchor to self simultaneously. Synapses fire, consciousness leaps. Poof. You're him. Lasts 168 hours. Give or take. Reversal protocol included, but anomalies possible. Vulnerability. Ethan had none, or so he thought. But I knew his weakness. Bourbon neat, after a big win. And the biggest win? Our family's annual New Year's bash at the club downtown, where the elite rubbed elbows and secrets like aftershave. I showed up fashionably late, in a slinky black number that screamed desperate to impress. Bait for Ethan's ego. Mom air-kissed my cheeks. Dad clapped my shoulder with that paternal pat that never reached his eyes. Glad you made it, kiddo. Water under the bridge, As if evicting me was a minor holiday spat. Ethan held court by the bar, surrounded by Botox socialites and his latest arm candy, an influencer type with lips plumped like overripe peaches. I sidled up, martini in hand, mine virgin, his loaded. To new beginnings, I toasted, clinking glasses. His eyes flicked over me, dismissive. Yeah, whatever. Just don't cramp my style tonight. The serum hit his bloodstream like a ghost, tasteless, odorless. We chatted banalities, his big break, my settling into the city. By midnight, as the ball dropped on the Jumbotron, he swayed, blaming the champagne. Gonna crash early, he mumbled, stumbling toward the valet. I followed at a distance, heart hammering like a jackrabbit. Lena waited in the shadows with the getaway van, stolen plates, tinted windows. We bundled him in, his snores ragged. Back at her place, I hesitated at the threshold, syringe in hand. This was it. No turning back. Ethan's face, slack and vulnerable, looked almost boyish. Almost forgivable. Fuck that, I whispered, and plunged the anchor into my thigh. The world dissolved in electric fire, neurons screaming, memories bleeding like ink in water. His childhood taunts, my buried resentments, the hit-and-run screech of tires on rain-slick asphalt. Then, nothing. I woke to silk sheets and a pounding headache, staring at a ceiling fan I'd never seen. My hands, no, his hands, flexed, manicured nails, Rolex glinting. I bolted upright, mirror across the room reflecting Ethan's chiseled jaw, tousled hair, that perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. Holy shit. I breathed, voice a baritone rumble. It worked. I was him. The swap was seamless, intoxicating. Power thrummed in my veins, his veins, like liquid confidence. I rifled through his nightstand. Burner phone with VC voicemails, ledger of investments that screamed fraud. Jackpot. But beneath it, a yellowed envelope, sealed with Grandpa's monogram. Curiosity clawed. I tore it open. Letters. Grandpa's scrawl, dated just before his death. Ethan, my boy, the money's not yours to squander. Camila's the steady one, the doctor who'll carry the name. Don't let your father poison you with his greed. And a postscript. If anything happens to me, look to the safe. The truth about 89. 89. The year Mom's miscarriage happened. The sibling I never knew. The one Dad's affair had sired. Buried secret number 1. His hands shook. Ethan had known. All this time, he'd played the favorite, but Grandpa had seen through it. A knock at the door jolted me. Arm candy. Babe? You okay? I deepened the voice, channeled his cocky drawl. Yeah, just heartburn. Go back to sleep. As dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, I plotted. Step 1, the pitch. I'd go. All right. But as the Trojan horse. Leaked the ledgers to a journalist contact from med school, the one who'd gone investigative at the Tribune. Step 2, the confession. A drunk dial to the DA's office, spilling the hit-and-run beans. Anonymous, of course, but the real gut punch. Digging into 89. If Dad's lies ran that deep, the whole facade crumbled. By noon, I was Ethan, suited, caffeinated, cruising his Tesla toward the club for a power brunch with the VCs. The city sprawled below, a concrete jungle where wolves like me thrived. But inside, Camila seethed. This was just the appetizer. The brunch spot was one of those overpriced glass houses in River North, where the Eggs Benedict cost more than my old rent, and the waitstaff memorized your porn star name without blinking. I, Ethan, sauntered in, flashing that trademark grin, the one that closed deals and melted panties. The VCs were already there. 3 suits in their 40s, tans fake as their enthusiasm, nursing oat milk lattes. Lead guy, Harlan from Apex Ventures, extended a hand like a limp fish. Ethan, my man. Heard about the family drama. Hope it's not derailing the pitch. I slid into the booth, all easy charm. Nah, water under the bridge. Camila's finding her way. Now, about those NFTs. Imagine owning a slice of Lincoln Park real estate, tokenized and tradable. No more middleman bullshit. Lies flowed like the complimentary Prosecco. Ethan's memories feeding me lines I'd never memorized. But under the table, my foot tapped a Morse code of rage. These idiots were about to fund a house of cards built on our family home. We bullshitted for an hour, blockchain buzzwords, ROI projections that smelled like fertilizer. Harlan leaned in, eyes gleaming. We're in for 10 mil seed, conditional on due diligence. Send over the financials by end of day. Done. I clinked glasses, but as I excused myself to the little boy's room, I fired off the email from Ethan's phone, CC to my burner. Attached, the ledgers scrubbed of my involvement, highlighting the Ponzi red flags. Subject, pitch deck, full transparency. By the time the Tribune hack got it, Apex would be ghosts. Back home, his penthouse, a sterile loft with views of the Sears Tower, I paced like a caged panther. The place reeked of money and misogyny. Abstract art that cost 6 figures, a bar stocked with whiskeys older than me. I poured a finger of Macallan, neat, and sank into the leather sectional. Ethan's body moved like a well-oiled machine, taller, broader, the kind of frame that commanded boardrooms. But the mind, mine. Camila's fury, sharpened to a scalpel. The safe. Grandpa's letter burned in my pocket. Ethan knew the combo. His birth date, arrogant prick. Tucked in the bedroom closet, behind a row of Tom Ford suits, it clicked open with a satisfying beep. Inside, cash bundles, a Glock 19, Jesus, Ethan, and a manila folder labeled Rothschild 89. Heart pounding, I flipped it open. Photos first, grainy Polaroids of a nursery, a bassinet with a swaddled infant, tiny, wrinkled, not Mom's. Notes in Dad's chicken scratch. Pickup from clinic, March 15th, 89. Payment to Dr. Hale, $50,000. New identity, stillborn. Adoption black market. The miscarriage was cover for buying a kid. Ethan? No, the dates. This was me. Camila Rothschild, not Ramirez. I'd been the purchased one, the miracle to paper over Mom's barrenness after the affair blew up. But the kicker, a coroner's report, Grandpa's name stamped as witness. Cause of death, acute cardiac arrest, suspicious toxicology. Digitalis traces, foxglove poison, the kind that mimics a heart attack. And a memo. Son, if you're reading this, your father's hand is dirtier than I feared. The boy, Ethan, is his blood, the girl a ghost we bought to save face. Protect her. The empire was hers. Empire. The hardware chain Grandpa built from nothing, brick-and-mortar backbone of our suburb empire, sold off piecemeal by Dad to fund investments. I'd always wondered why my trust fund vanished, siphoned to Ethan, the real heir. Betrayal didn't cut it. This was a goddamn excavation of my soul. Rage boiled over. I smashed the glass against the wall, shards glittering like fallen stars. Ethan's phone buzzed. Mom. Lunch. Miss you. Dad's golfing. Perfect. Time to stir the pot. I met her at our old haunt, the country club where I'd learned to swing a 9-iron before I could read. She looked smaller in the daylight, Botox smoothing the worry lines, but her eyes darted like a cornered fox. Ethan, darling, about Christmas, we didn't mean to blindside Camila. It's just timing. I leaned back, channeling his smirk. Timing for what, Mom? Flipping the house to bail out my genius brother? Her fork froze midair, salad impaled. I pressed. Or is it the safe? Grandpa's little legacy. Color drained from her face, foundation cracking like old plaster. What? What do you know? Enough. I slid the folder across the table, photos face up. The bassinet, the report. Camila's not one of us. Bought and paid for. And you poisoned him to keep it quiet. She whispered. It was mercy. He was suffering, the cancer. Your father. He helped. Lies. But the panic was real. Ethan, please. We can fix this. The house money, it's for you. Your future. My future. Laughter bubbled up, bitter. Or Dad's gambling debts. I saw the statements. She crumpled, tears smudging mascara. Don't tell her. Camila. She's fragile. Fragile. The word ignited something primal. I stood, tossing 100 on the table. Too late, Mom. The truth's out. And it's coming for all of us. That night, as Ethan's body crashed on the couch, jet lag from the swap, or maybe guilt, I drunk dialed the DA. Slurred confession. It was me. 5 years ago. Hit and run on Lakeshore Drive. Black BMW. Pedestrian named Ruiz. I panicked. Click. Anonymous, but traceable to this phone. By morning, warrants would fly. Lena checked in via secure chat. How's the skin suit? I snapped a selfie. Ethan's grin twisted demonic. Fits like a glove. But the seams are fraying. Memories leaked. Ethan's first crush. The thrill of the wheel that night. The thud that ended a life. Empathy crept in, unwanted. Was I becoming him? No. Focus. The pitch was tomorrow. I'd show, feign the closer, then ghost. But as I scrolled his emails, one pinged. Harlan. Due diligence complete. Pull the plug, smells off. Yes. Adrenaline surged. I hit the club early, schmoozing the waitstaff for dirt. Turns out, Ethan had a habit. Side deals with the bartender, laundering tips through crypto. Blackmail gold. I cornered the guy in the alley, slipped him $1,000. Talk to the feds. Make it hurt. By evening, the VCs bailed, publicly at least. Whispers spread. Ramirez kids cooked. I toasted myself in the mirror, bourbon burning sweet. But the high faded fast. A text from Dad. We need to talk. Now. His office downtown, mahogany and menace. He loomed behind the desk, face thunderous. What the hell did you do, son? Apex called, said the books are a joke. I shrugged, all innocence. Maybe I got sloppy. Sloppy. He slammed a fist, veins bulging. This isn't just money, Ethan. It's legacy. Your sister's tantrum. Camille is not the problem. I cut in, voice steady. You are. The safe. 89. Grandpa didn't drop dead. You dropped him. Silence, thick as fog. His eyes narrowed, calculating. You think you're clever? That old fool meddled too much. The girl was a fix, nothing more. You're the future. Pity twisted in my gut. This man, who'd raised me on scraps of affection, was a monster in penny loafers. Future's changing, Dad. I left him sputtering, the door clicking shut like a guillotine. Back in the loft, reversal vial in hand, I hesitated. One more day? Dig deeper. But the body ached. migraines, phantom itches where Camila's tattoos should be. Time was bleeding. Then, the twist I prepped, a package to the house, addressed to Mom. Inside, the folder, photos, a note, Ethan knows. Payback's a bitch. Let them turn on each other. As midnight tolled, I injected the reversal. Fire again, but colder. Consciousness yanked back, slamming into my own skin. Shorter, scarred from ER mishaps, familiar as betrayal. I gasped on Lena's floor, her hovering with Gatorade. You okay? Never better. But the line blurred. Ethan's echoes lingered. Confidence, cruelty. Was revenge purifying, or just swapping poisons? The fallout hit like a nor'easter. By breakfast, Ethan's phone, mailed back anonymously, lit up with indictments. Hit-and-run warrant, fraud probes. Mom called me, hysterical. Camila, your brother's in trouble. Come home. Home. The word soured. On my way. But as I drove through the slushy streets, doubt gnawed. The safe secrets, I was the bought one. Did that make my revenge tainted? Or just? The house looked smaller pulling up the driveway, dwarfed by the for sale sign staked like a vampire hunter's cross. Twinkling lights still dangled, half-hearted now, mocking the cheer they'd once faked. Mom flung open the door before I killed the engine. Robe askew, face a roadmap of ruin. Oh, Cammy, thank God. She pulled me into a hug that smelled of Chanel No. 5 and desperation, but I stiffened. Hug her no more. Inside, chaos reigned. Dad pacing the Persian rug, phone glued to his ear, barking at a lawyer. Ethan slumped on the stairs, hungover and handcuff-scarred from a midnight raid. His eyes met mine, wild, accusatory. You. This is your doing, isn't it? I stepped over a toppled poinsettia, cool as lake ice. My doing? Like lying about a dead pedestrian? Or forging Grandpa's will? The room froze. Mom gasped, hand to throat. Dad hung up, face purpling. What the hell are you talking about? He thundered, but his eyes skittered. To the safe upstairs, I bet. Ethan lunged, but cuffs rattled him short. Bitch. I didn't, you set me up. Language. Mom whimpered, ever the referee. But I ignored her, climbing the stairs past him, his curses chasing like hellhounds. The master bedroom, sanctum of secrets. I yanked the closet open, safe gleaming. Combo. Ethan's birthday, ironic. It swung wide, contents spilled like guts. I gathered the folder, descended like a judge. Exhibit A, Grandpa's letters. Exhibit B, poisoned autopsy. Exhibit C, my birth certificate. Or lack thereof. I slapped the photos down. Me, the swaddled commodity. You bought me, Dad. From some back alley clinic. To cover your affair. And when Grandpa found out, you dosed him with digitalis. For the money. For him. Thumb at Ethan. Denials erupted. Mom's sobs. It was love, Cammy. We wanted a family. Dad's bluster. Circumstantial. That old coot had enemies. Ethan snarls. You're crazy. I didn't know. But the crack spiderwebbed. Dad's lawyer arrived. Slick as oil. Whispering plea deals. Feds were circling. Securities fraud. Vehicular manslaughter. The house sale? Frozen pending asset seizure. Poetic. I should have felt triumph, but it hollowed me. These people, monsters, yes, but mine. The ones who'd bandaged my scraped knees, cheered my valedictorian speech. Fractured mirrors of love, now shattered. Camila, Dad said, voice cracking for the first time. We can fight this. Together. Together? I laughed, echoing Ethan's baritone ghost. Like when I perjured for him. Or co-signed your debts. No. This is checkmate. I walked out, leaving them to devour each other. Lena waited in the drive, engine humming. And done. But as we sped away, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. Voicemail. A gravelly voice. The DARPA defector. Ms. Ramirez. Anomaly detected. The swap. It wasn't clean. Echoes remain. If you hear whispers, call. Reversal incomplete. Whispers. Ethan's voice in my head, faint but insistent. You're just like me now. I shook it off, but the seed rooted. The weeks blurred into a media circus. Suburban dynasty crumbles, fraud, forgery, and family lies. The Tribune ate it up, my anonymous tips gold. Ethan flipped, plea for 10 years, ratting on Dad's offshore accounts. Mom, immunity for testimony, spilling the 89 clinic details. Dr. Hale, busted years ago for trafficking. Dad, facing murder 1, The Digitalis trace irrefutable. The house. Auctioned. Proceeds to Ruiz's family. The pedestrian I'd avenged in proxy. I crashed at Lena's, resuming ER shifts like slipping into old scrubs. Patients blurred. Junkies ODing on fentanyl. Kids with flu shot regrets. But the echoes grew. Ethan's bravado urging a Vicodin swipe from the Pyxis, his cynicism mocking a terminal diagnosis. Tell her it's psychosomatic, the voice sneered during rounds. I popped Ativan to drown it, but sleep brought dreams, driving that rainy night. Thud, guilt like oil on water. Lena noticed. You're off, like you're wearing someone else's skin. Funny you say that. Over takeout lo mein. I confessed the swap, the serum, the defector's warning. Her face paled. Cammy, that's not revenge, that's possession. Get it fixed. The defector's clinic was a ghost town. Raided, he said, but he'd relocated to a basement in Pilsen, murals of La Llorona weeping on brick walls. He was a wiry septuagenarian, eyes like shattered glass. Neural bleed, he diagnosed, EG leads snaking my scalp. His engrams latched. 50% now you 50 him. Full merge in months. Horror clawed my throat. Fix it. Can't. Experimental. But. Accelerate the purge. Live is life. Confront the remnants. Live is life. I fled, but the idea festered. Ethan's trial loomed. Spectator or saboteur. Controversial decision. Testify. Not for justice, but to excise the demon. Courtroom in the loop. Fluorescent hell. Ethan in orange, shackled, eyes hollow. Dad, beside him in spirit via video from Cook County. Mom, front row diminished. The DA called me. Ms. Ramirez, you stated under oath the accident was yours. What? I stood, the bench a confessional. Because I loved my brother. Gasps rippled. And because family protects its own. Even from themselves. Ethan's head snapped up, hope flickering, wrongly. But now? I see the lie. He drove. I covered. For a monster. The words poured, laced with Ethan's venom. Twist the knife, sis. I faltered, voice dipping baritone. The gallery murmured. Judge banged gavel. Recess. In the hall, Mom cornered me. What are you doing? He'll walk if you. Walk. I hissed, grabbing her wrist. Too hard. Ethan's strength. Bruise bloomed. Like you walked over Grandpa. Over me. She wrenched free, eyes wide. You're not right, Cammy. Something's wrong. The trial dragged. Witnesses to the fraud. Ballistics on the BMW's black box. My testimony sealed it. Perjury charge for me, but deferred for cooperation. Ethan glared as the verdict dropped. 25, no parole. Dad, life, no appeal. Mom, community service, the enabler's slap. Outside, rain lashed the steps. Victory? Or Pyrrhic? Ethan's echo cheered. We did it. We? That night, blackout drunk, I dreamed the swap reversed. Not me in him, but him in me. Camila's body, but his mind, plotting from a cell. Paranoia spiked. Was the defector lying? Or worse, had the serum swapped us permanently, souls bartered in the ether? Lena staged an intervention. Burn it out. Confront the source. The source, the house. Now Ruiz is via restitution. I broke in at dusk, key from the old hook. Empty rooms echoed, ghosts in sheetrock. Upstairs safe, gutted, but the nursery photo remained, tucked in a joist. Staring at baby me, bought and broken, clarity cracked. Revenge hadn't healed, it hybridized. I was Camila Ethan, a chimera of grudge and guile. Then, the real hook, a floorboard creak. Not empty. Footsteps, soft, deliberate. I spun, heart jackhammering. In the doorway, a man, mid-50s, salt and pepper, face weathered like Lake Michigan driftwood. Camila? Who the? Dr. Hale. The clinic. 89. He stepped forward, hands raised. I didn't die in that raid. And you're the girl. Shock rooted me. Buried secret unearthed. The trafficker, alive, with answers. Why now? Redemption. He glanced at the photo. Your mother. She came back. Last month. Begging for another fix. I recorded it. Proof. The twist uncoiled. Mom. Not broken, but scheming. Post-trial, she'd approached him. New kid, new cover, to restart with Ethan's appeal fund. The betrayal deepened, fractal. Hale's redemption was a USB drive, slim as a promise, thrust into my palm, like contraband communion. We huddled in the gutted kitchen, flashlights carving shadows from dust motes, the house creaking like a confessional on the edge of collapse. His voice rasped over the recording, Mom's, tinny and tear-choked. One more hail. Like before. Ethan's money, it'll cover. Just make her. Ours. Ours. The word slithered, possessive as a noose. She'd played the victim, immunity her shield, all while plotting resurrection. The ultimate controversy, matricide of the soul. Expose her, and the family myth dies for good. Me, the purchased pariah, adrift. Or silence, let the poison fester. Why me? I demanded, the drive burning hot. Hale's eyes, cataract clouded, fixed on mine. Because you're the echo. The swap, I felt it. Neural ripples. Whatever you did, it woke something. Justice. He vanished into the night, a specter dissolving in sleet. I drove to Lena's, mind a maelstrom. Ethan's voice crowed. Burn her. Like she burned us. But Camila whispered. End it. Clean. Dawn broke bloody, sun bleeding through storm clouds. I texted Mom. Meet me. The house. Noon. Truth time. Her reply. Anything, baby. For us. She arrived in pearls and penitence, umbrella popping like a gunshot. We toured the empty shell, living room where Bing Crosby had lied, dining where the eviction dropped. Upstairs, nursery photo in hand, I played the recording. Her face crumpled, then hardened. Lies. Deep fake. Ethan's hackers. Stop. I gripped her shoulders, echoes dueling. You're the architect. The miscarriage, the buy, the poison. Grandpa saw you, not Dad. Tears, real this time. I did it for love. For him, for Ethan. You were. Convenient. Convenient. The word ignited the climax. I shoved her toward the window, glass rattling. Convenient like evicting me? Like selling my legacy? She stumbled, fear flashing. Cammy, please. You're my daughter. No. Ethan's snarl broke through. I'm the future you stole. Hands, mine his, closed on her throat. Not hard, but enough. Controversial. The line between justice and murder, blurred in a body not wholly mine. She gasped, clawing. The swap, I knew. The defector. He called me. Said you'd merge. Become him. Lie? Truth? Panic surged. I released. She slumped, coughing. What? Your eyes, she wheezed. Ethan's fire. It's winning. Horror. The reversal, botched. Mom's revelation. She'd bribed the defector post-swap to sabotage. Insurance, if Ethan fell. Fix you, she lied. But he said. Irreversible. The twist reversed. Not victim, but puppeteer. She'd orchestrated the bleed to resurrect Ethan through me. Deeper betrayal, maternal alchemy, forging a Frankenstein heir. I fled, drive clenched like a grenade pin. Courthouse steps, DA's office. I dumped the drive, full confession. Mom's in it. The works. Arrest by evening. Headlines screaming matriarch's final scheme. But the merge accelerated. Blackouts. Waking with Ethan's cologne on my skin, his emails in my sent folder. Lena locked the vials, but temptation gnawed. One more swap. Into Mom, finish it? No. The decision, surgery. Experimental purge at Rush, black market docs with DARPA ties. Scalpel to synapses, excising the intruder. Risk, amnesia, catatonia. Worth it. Table cold, anesthetics blooming. Count back, the surgeon said. Ethan's voice, don't. We're stronger together. Camila, fight. I woke to beeps, Lena's face haloed. Clean. They got it. Relief flooded, pure. But the mirror lied. Eyes still shadowed, a hybrid glint. Full excision? Or symbiosis? Months later, appeals crushed, family sundered. House raised for condos, proceeds to charities. Ruiz's foundation, adoption reform. Me? Promoted at the ER, writing a tell-all, swapped souls, a daughter's reckoning. Bestseller buzz, TED Talk invites. Happy. Debatable. Ethan's echoes. Faint hum, like tinnitus, reminder, not ruler. Ending. I stood on Lake Michigan's shore, wind whipping, waves gnashing like grudges. Vengeance sated, but the cost? A self-remade, controversial as truth. Did I win, or just swap cages? Readers argue in forums. Hero or villain? Me? I light a cigarette. Ethan's habit, and exhale smoke like secrets. The game's rigged, but damn if I didn't flip the board.